honor. And meanwhile, he shows up to this event again in his favorite vest. He loves that vest.
He loves that vest. Loves
that
vest. Absolutely. Then another photo came up, which is this Eat 'em and Smile photo. So Matt Starr, who's the drummer for Mr. Big, formerly, and Ace Frehley, he posted a picture of Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, Greg Bissonette, and Brett Tuggle on stage at Lucky Strike in Hollywood for their Ultimate Jam Night. This was when they were ready to go on stage in front of the maximum capacity crowd with Dave, the reunited Eat 'em and Smile band. They were going to play Yankee Rose and Shy Boy. And then remember they closed the show and they let everybody out because of fire hazards and stuff. The capacity was too big. Now the interesting thing is this photo, the expression, a photo's worth 1,000 words. This was unbelievable. They were all huddled around this guy, and it's almost like the guy is delivering the message as, hey, guys, I know you're about to go on, but we got to shut down.
That was the message he was delivering.
That was. It's almost like a painting, this thing. They're all, huddled around him, and they all got their instruments on, and they're, ready to go, and apparently Dave wasn't even on the stage yet.
No, he was backstage.
Right, and Steve Vai said, you know what? Let's play I'll Pay the Fines, which is such a boss move of Steve. However, the general manager nixed the idea. He said, you know what? That's great, but the problem is they will shut us down for months. It's not just the fines. It's not like, hey, let's play, I'll pay the fines, we'll move on to the next day. They will literally close the venue down, so they actually had to pull the plug. Unbelievable. Thank you to Matt Starr for posting that. It really put a visual on the moment. What did you think of that, Dave?
Yeah, because if you look at the picture, you could see, the concern and disappointment in their faces.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, man, this is really not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
One of those things where so close, but such a bummer. And somebody captured that moment.
Yeah, it was incredible. Also, congratulations to Wolf, because Mammoth WVH was nominated for a Grammy. Best Rock Song for his song Distance, and he is against All My Favorite Songs by Weezer, The Bandit by Kings of Leon, Find My Way by Paul McCartney, and Waiting on a War by Foo Fighters. As Dave and I discussed and chuckled over, Sammy was lobbying and campaigning for his Lockdown Sessions 2020 to get nominated. Of course, it got no nominations for his Snippets album. So,
oh my God, I can't believe, well, I can believe, I guess, but I can't believe he had the audacity to campaign for that album to be, Grammy worthy.
I know.
It's like, come on, man. You recorded your vocals on an iPhone.
I know.
And I know how much you love, the half songs on that album.
Snippets.
Right? It's like, it's a nice, jammy, memento of the times album.
Yeah.
But is it Grammy worthy?
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
It's ridiculous.
It's not even close. It's embarrassing that he even had the audacity to ask for a Grammy.
Well, Sammy is, let me tell you something. Sammy is ballsy. Sammy.
No, I know, but look, I know he's not the only one doing that. Everybody is out pushing for their albums to get the Grammy nomination. It's not like he's the only one doing that. And, this was the only album he released this year. So, of course, he's going to push for it. But that's just how hungry he is.
Yep.
For
recognition.
A solo Grammy nomination and win.
Yep.
And it's like, Sam, I hear what you're saying, but man, you're going to have to come out with something a lot better than that. Look at Wolf. He's got a great song there. This guy's going against McCartney and the Foo Fighters.
I know.
And by the way, it's crazy because this is the nomination for Best Rock Song. And he is the youngest guy nominated.
I know.
And everybody else is almost everybody else in that category is way older than him.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, this is rock and roll.
I know.
And a 30-year-old guy is the youngest guy nominated?
I know.
What's wrong with this picture?
What do you think his chances are, Dave?
Oh, I don't know. Well, you can't even go by which song you think is the best because, they may give it to McCartney.
Right.
Because he's Paul McCartney.
Legacy.
And, they always give it to somebody way past their prime.
Right.
Because they missed the boat the first time.
Right.
Or, they may give it to the Foo Fighters. Everybody loves Dave Grohl.
They win everything.
I hate to say this, but he's got the name. He's got the legacy.
See what you think about this. I was thinking, I love the song and I love the video. everybody's always talking about, when are we doing a tribute to Eddie Van Halen? That is the tribute for Eddie Van Halen. If your son writes a song about you, and it's a quality, unbelievable song, and then puts out a video that is unbelievable and kind of sums up the guy in the video, that's about as good of a tribute as you're going to get. So that is unbelievable. Now, in addition to his name, in addition to his father, do you think there is a little something in here because the Grammys sort of fucked up last year with the tribute to Eddie Van Halen? I mean, they showed a clip of Ed doing a solo for a minute, and they spotlighted the Frankenstein guitar on stage for like a few seconds. And that was it.
If you're suggesting they nominated Wolf because
No. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying Grammys are always, like you said prior, they're always late to the game. They're always playing catch up. They're always coming from behind and, making up for this and making up for that. Not that the song isn't deserving. It's totally deserving. It's a fantastic song. He did a great job. It was a great success. It's totally, I'm just wondering if the Grammy is playing games, because they're always playing games. Like you just said earlier, like might give it to McCartney because he's McCartney, not because it's the song, but because it's McCartney. So they always have like an ulterior motive. I'll never forget when Eddie Trunk was screaming the other day. He was talking about how Judas Priest won this Grammy, right? And they won a Grammy for like a live cut of a song that was like 35 years old. And he's like, that's the pinnacle moment of the band? I mean, he's got a point.
Right.
So it's like they're always giving it for another reason. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway, speaking of which, Mammoth's numbers came out, Dave. So the Spotify numbers came out. 12 million streams he has. 2.1 million listeners in 164 countries. And Wolf said, absolutely floored with these numbers because it's barely been a year. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Y'all are the best. P.S. I can't wait to get back into the studio and get working on the second album so your collective ear holes can have more music. So that was interesting. Wolf also was on Eddie Trunk. He was promoting his Young Guns tour with Dirty Honey. We talked about that tour the last time we did Van Halen News, and that is going to be coming around in the winter. I'm going to see him in early February in New York. So now Wolf and Eddie Trunk were getting a little wise, and they got a little funny with the Van Halen fans right from the beginning. So he goes, oh, hey, Wolf, where are you calling from? And he said, I'm actually calling you from 5150. So then Eddie Trunk, because he's got to be a wise guy, goes, hey, can we see the wall of archives that you should be working on 24/7 according to the fans? And he says, you realize the fans feel that's all you should be doing is working on those tapes, right? So it's like, 1 minute Eddie says that they should have a tribute to Van Halen, that there should be archives released. The next minute he's making a comment like this. And then Wolf said quietly, he goes, I live to serve them. And to be funny. And then he was talking about, how he was playing with GNR. He said it was a dream the whole time. Everybody in Guns was so nice and supportive. It was 100% joy. And that he said most of the nights he played to like a 70% crowd capacity because he was the opening act. And he said he saw a bunch of Mammoth logo shirts out in the crowd and he was very excited about that. They said that both him and Dirty Honey, they're doing this co-bill tour. They're each going to do about a 75-minute set and they're going to flip-flop who opens and closes every other night. And they'll probably do some songs together, but they haven't worked it out. But they're not going to take a third act on tour with them because they're going to do their own music. So he also said that in terms of new music, he said he's ready to go. He said that 2022 is going to be a tour-heavy year and that he's going to try to carve out a month or two in the studio if possible. But he does say he has 7 to 8 songs that didn't make the album. He said, I might be pulling some of those songs out on the road to test with the audience to see what will most likely be on the next record. I have, he said, about 21 and a half minute ideas down ready to go, and I also have the 7 to 8 songs left over from the first sessions. So he does have stuff ready to go. He says that he plans on still recording it his way, which is recording everything himself, and that he likes doing it like that. He said it's like having your cake and eating it too. I never get to play the drums anymore, and it's fun to be able to do it all in the studio. He says there's a lot of pressure in the process, though. He said he enjoys playing drums the most, but he doesn't really like being a front man because he doesn't like everybody looking at him. But that's what he said. Now, in terms of Van Halen, he says, you'd think my audience would be filled with Van Halen fans, but there's people kind of all ages. But he said he saw a smattering of different ages. There's no one defined age. And he said he feels like rock and roll is starting to pick up steam again. And then Eddie Trunk says, I think it's admirable that you're not playing any Van Halen songs. And Wolf said, I think it's really important that I prove myself and make my case. People take my comments out of context, saying I hate Van Halen stuff, and that's why you won't play it for us. No, all I ever said is you will not hear Van Halen stuff at a Mammoth show. If GNR wanted to play Running with the Devil, I'd be fine, let's do it. But I'm not going to use Van Halen material to booster my solo career. So he was very distinct about that. And he says, all right, what if Dirty Honey wanted to come up and jam a Van Halen song? He said, I'd sit in the back and play drums. That's what he said. So he was very straightforward about that. But he said, you will not see a Van Halen song in a Mammoth set ever. There will never be a Mammoth set list with a Van Halen song. He says, my dad would be pissed. He'd say, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you doing your own music? But he says, people don't listen to him. He says he hates when people take his words out of context. People think they know me, but then they keep believing the wrong shit. I like to clarify stuff. Some people call it whining, but I disagree. I like to be very clear and choose my words very carefully. When people get the wrong information, that's how things get mixed up. He says, when people are dickheads, I like to make a joke out of it. So he's still very bitter about all the different people making comments, and I can understand that. I mean, I understand why he doesn't play any Van Halen songs. I don't know why people expect to play Van Halen songs. That's crazy, but he did say that his highlight on tour was playing Cleveland show was great. And he said playing Paradise City, Guns N' Roses, and bowing with them at the end was amazing. And then when they asked him about an update on Van Halen stuff, he says there's nothing to be updated on. When it comes to any Van Halen related things, that all starts with Alex. I'm focused on Mammoth stuff right now. Al's the proprietor, and I'm there to support him whenever he needs me. So then Eddie said, well, we really don't hear from Alex. How's he doing? And he said, he's doing well. We talk a lot, and he's doing his thing. And that's all he said. So what do you make of that, Dave? What do you think is going on with this kid?
Well, he's doing his own thing. I can commend him for that.
Yep.
But everyone just be patient. Bide their time. He'll be playing Van Halen songs eventually. I mean, it won't be in the next couple of years. Won't be in the next 5 years. May not even be in the next 10 years.
Ooh.
But for those of us who are still around, you know, it's still fresh. He's just establishing his career.
Right.
So let him do that after a while, and then maybe he'll go back and revisit his dad's work. So never say never.
Yeah.
But hey, the guy has one album out. You know, he's ready to do another one. So let's hear what he has to do.
Right, absolutely. And by the way, he always refers to the band as Mammoth, Dave. You were very right about that. I think that WVH is in there for legal reasons. He never calls it Mammoth, WVH. He only calls it Mammoth. So I still want to know if the fucking album is called Mammoth. No one has ever answered that fucking question, but it does say on the spine, Mammoth. It's really interesting. So Mammoth WVH will play Welcome to Rockville. I don't know if you saw this, Dave. This unbelievable, massive 4-day rock festival taking place May 19th through the 22nd in, obviously, 2022 in Daytona Beach, Florida. May 19th, it's going to be Kiss with Papa Roach, Dave. I know you love Papa Roach. And with Five Finger Death Punch and Mammoth and a bunch of other bands. Day 2 is going to be Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Megadeth, and a whole bunch of other bands. The third day, May 21st, is going to be GNR, Shinedown, Rise Against, and Bush. I know you're a big Bush fan. May 22nd, which is day 4, is going to have the Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction, and Hailstorm, along with a bunch of other bands as well. Tickets already on sale for that, so welcome to Rockville. That's going to be one massive festival. I know you're not a big festival guy.
No, the bands there sound amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I could make it through all those days. I'm not like you. I'm not a young man anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the same age. I tell you, you feel it after a while. It's exhausting, that's for sure. But it does seem amazing. Now, also interesting, they're playing on that bill with Kiss. Mammoth is going to open for Kiss. in Zurich, Switzerland on July 7th, 2022, which is wild because they're going to be touring with the